Podcasting from Brooklyn Bridge Park Pier number 2. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey everyone, good morning. As you know, when I'm always cutting these things, I am always out here early in the morning. But whenever you guys choose to listen to this, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, late at night, I always appreciate the likes, the looks, and the supports and the listens. But I would definitely appreciate you guys going to my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone, and hitting the subscribe and notification bell. But you know what? At the same time, no pressure. Do it if you want to. Anyways, getting into it. A lot of things that is happening right now is basically man's general ineptitude to be spiritually, socially, ethically responsible. We lack so much compassion. We lack so much accountability. It's crazy. But then we're seeing the fruits of our labors. Because we have homelessness, right? We have elderly people who are struggling to make ends meet, right? We have children that are still getting abused. Children and people that are getting trafficked, kidnapped, right? We have people who are poor. Meanwhile, we have people who are just rich and just keep getting richer. Actually, the middle class is actually losing economic strongholds. They're losing economic footing. And that's crazy because you would figure that supposedly the best nation on earth, everyone's supposed to be like Disneyland over here. Everyone gets what they want. We have so much people in the working class contributing to get, giving all these taxes. So overall, our services can be given to everyone, but we find people still struggling to make ends meet. And even with certain stimulus packages that we've gotten recently, that has even further divided people even more because it's like I saw weeping and gnashing of the teeth where some people were saying, why I need that stimulus more than somebody. If you make X amount of dollars, you don't need that money. I need that money. Wow. This is where we're at, people. Is this where we're at? And this is basically where this is the problem where we got to where we at because one of the biggest issues is not money, but the love of money. That pursuit of trying to get more money because we've been set up for the longest to be divided, and money is the perfect tool for that because it's now fashion. Now, if you ain't got money, you got nothing. So it's not just for the next person to worry about. How do you think so much other people get so much things done? Because they organize properly. They organize and they get a forward-thinking mindset to move to do the right thing. So that means we can do the right thing and make things happen if we wanted to. Do we choose to? The problem is most of the time we don't because why? It's not worth our time and it's not worth any money to us. So we're not going to bother. And if it's not directly affecting us, who cares? Because if you're losing in life, if you're homeless, you're struggling to pay bills, if you can't get certain things right in your home or at your job, then it's your problem. This is the mindset that so many people take. So how do we fix all this? We have issues, always had issues with Israel and Palestine. We have so many people out here running around killing people, out here raping, trafficking. How do we fix this? Well, how do you fix anything? You get the right tools. And once you have the tools, you have to have the know-how to use those tools. Apparently, man and his ways are shoddy tools. We've tried so much things, we've implemented so much different ordinances, had different movements, and where are we? We are not better for it. Let me tell you, we are not better for it. Don't fool yourselves. The tools I'm talking about comes from above man. I always talk about Elohim. I also talk about Yeshua. I always talk about the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, right? These are the things that guide us because so much things about ethics, even people who don't believe in God, they have an understanding of what's ethical because it's written on our hearts. So even if you don't have an idea, a proper idea, or even resign yourself to who God is or what God is, it's written in your hearts to do good. How is it that we have things that are legal but unethical and immoral? It's legal to do, but it's unethical. Companies do it all the time. Police do it all the time. Regular people like me do it all the time. I don't do it, but a lot of people do it all the time. And just because something is illegal does not mean it is immoral or unethical. How do we get this weird topsy-turvy world? Because we are spiritually defunct with being accountable for ourselves and holding people accountable in the right way. How do we do that? The tools you use start with the book. Well, however you feel about it, when you start to really take away your pride and you humble yourself to actually learn about these things, you will start to connect the dots. You will start to even see that the Bible is actual historical reference. There's so much things that I've been taught, and as along with many people have been taught, have been a lie. And I listen to so many people who are intellectuals, people who are religious, spiritual, people who don't believe in God. I listen to so much people, and the more I take it in, because I try to humble myself to hear other viewpoints and understand how they got there, it makes more sense to follow Elohim. It makes more sense to fashion myself along with the character of Yeshua. Okay? I can't depend on these people here in this world. I may work among them. I may grow with them. I may go through experiences with them, but you cannot commit and resign yourself to the ways of man, because man, as is represented in the book many times, nations of people are akin to the ocean, the sea, the waves. What is waves? Very rarely, unless you're like on a pond, waves stay still. That's why we call like people like the ocean and the sea. The sea's always changing. It's always rolling. It's rising. It's falling. It's doing all types of stuff all the time. It's never solid. So now we have people who are never solid now making rules and regulations. How do you think that's going to go? We're never going to have anything that's fair. We're not going to have anything that's complete and concrete. We need something that's solid. Elohim's law. His will never changes. People may have tried to add to it. People may have taken away from it. This is why so many people are now defunct and separated from our Creator. And we're separated from our Creator. We don't have an idea of who His character is. So we don't know what our character is supposed to be. We don't know where we stand in all this. So we have to go to something solid. You do more research. I guarantee you research, again, not out of pride so you can learn, just so you could stump somebody else when you have an argument with a Christian or whoever else. You learn to learn, and that's how I got to that point. In past podcasts, I said I was an agnostic at one point, and my purpose of learning the book and scriptures was so I could stump and argue. That's terrible and disgusting. But a lot of people still do that. And a lot of people spend their whole lives stuck on there. They don't look at the historical value. They don't look at the moral value. They don't look at the ultimate spiritual understanding, because there's spiritual warfare going on. I want to put you guys on. And if anyone wants to question anything, have a conversation with me or whatever, how I got to where I am or things you want to ask me. You can hit me up on my website, comment section. I'll get all the email in the comment section on YouTube. You hit me up on Instagram, even Facebook. I'll answer. I will definitely answer, man. But I want you guys to understand what's going on. If we were not as greedy, if we held ourselves accountable and our fellow man accountable according to God's law, not man's law, because man shows favoritism. There are people who are locked up that shouldn't be locked up. There are people who are running free who shouldn't be running free. That goes from the lowest of the low to the highest of the highest echelon of man and his systems. So I want you guys to understand, it's like I'm not here to bash anybody, because unfortunately people who believe in the Father have been the scapegoat to be used as a whipping boy because of what's going on in the world. No. When you have standards, you have standards. We can live life without limitations, but you need standards. You have to know the difference. But anyways, that's all I got. If you want to hit me up, contact me, you can catch me on my website, www.brooklynbaritone.com. If you want to hit me up as well on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone, I'm there too. You can catch me on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. And I'm also on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. You can catch the audio portion of my podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes Play Store, and Amazon Music under podcast. I am also broadcasting 4 times a week on local Brooklyn cable television on the on Verizon, RCN, Spectrum, and Optimum. I gotta remember these channels, but I air 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well. But anyways, I hope I give you something to think about. I want you guys to walk good, be blessed. I am out.